Hi guys, it's Cindy Leach, your polymer clay tutor, and today in the PCT test lab, we are comparing the different brands of liquid polymer clay. Now I've got 4 different types of liquid polymer clay here that I'm going to be talking about. The first one is TLS, which is also known as, or it's known as TLS, but it's translucent liquid Sculpey. And another product made by Sculpey is called Bake Bond. It's similar, but a little different, which I'll talk about. We're also going to be talking about Kato Liquid Polyclay. And also, this one is Fimo Liquid, sometimes called liquid gel or deco gel. Okay, so I've got some baked up samples, which I'm going to show you in a second on how it is, or how it works when it's baked and how it looks and the differences between them. But I just wanted to show you some quick little samples. Now I kind of just went around the studio to see if I could find some things that I had made in the past that used liquid polymer clay. And I found a few things. You can use liquid polymer clay for all kinds of different projects, and you can use it in different ways. You can use it, and I didn't find a sample on that, but you can use it for doing image transfers. You can also do something like this where you do polymerized fabric. You can do, and this is a piece of polymerized fabric as well. Actually, that one was made with liquid polymer clay and a dryer sheet. That was that's an oldie. You can mix it with the chalks. I've talked about mixing it with chalks. Here's a sample here with some liquid polymer clay. This is, I believe this one is Kato Polyclay. And then also, I was just doing a little sample. I'm working on a project, and this is not finished, so don't think it is. But I'm making this little door. And I use some of the Fimo mixed with some chalk pastels, and you can see it has a really cool look here. These top windows here I buffed up a little bit, and these bottom ones I didn't. And you can see you can get quite a bit of shine onto the Fimo liquid, and it's quite translucent. Now these pieces here, these little faux opals, were made years ago using Bake Bond, believe it or not, mixed with some buffalo snow or those kind of iridescent flakes. And here is the same project as this one. These two are the same actually, only this one has been sanded and buffed and this one has been left raw. And you can see it has quite a matte finish when it's baked without sanding and buffing it. And that's all I have here for now. Now, let me just show you first what the product looks like. I've got a little colored tile here so that I can, you can see it sitting up here. I'm going to take some of the TLS, which is made by Sculpey, so it's called translucent liquid Sculpey. And I'm just going to put a little line of it on here so you can see the thickness of it and how it is. It's kind of like white glue where it will go out milky and then bake relatively clear. And this one's fairly thick and it doesn't have much of a smell to it. This one here is the Bake Bond. I'll just show you it compared to it. It is a little thicker, or at least the bottle of it that I have is. It has a slightly more opaque look to it, and it is stickier. It's used as, it's a great adhesive if you're trying to glue two raw pieces of polymer clay together, or a baked piece of polymer clay with a raw piece of polymer clay, or 2 baked pieces. But it is you have to bake it in order for it to work. It's not just like regular glue. It is a liquid polymer clay. And both of these can be used for liquid transfers, image transfers, glue. You can mix it with all kinds of different things. You can mix it with chalks and pearl powders. You can also use it to soften up a clay. You can add a few drops of it. And I've got lots of videos on different uses that you can use that for. Also, this one here is the Kato Liquid Polyclay. It's a little bit different. It is a little thinner, and it comes out quite milky when you put it on there. And it smells a little different. It smells a lot like the clay, only because of the, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as strong as when you've got a big block of clay. So when I use it, I don't have an issue with that smell at all. And then the Fimo Liquid, it is similar, but it comes out a lot clearer. And you'll see that right even from this stage right here. It comes out kind of like a gel, and it's not milky hardly at all. It has a smell to it as well, but it's more of, what kind of smell? It's an interesting smell. It smells like felt pens, kind of. And then these other two just smell a little like glue. I'm sure you really care, but I just want to mention that because some of you may be sensitive to smells. I did some test samples here of the different clays, and I'm going to peel them up off of this piece here, but I wanted you to see what the differences were when they were baked up. Now this first sample here is the TLS, and I did a little smear of it underneath, and when I peel it up we'll be able to see the big transparency. But you can see both the TLS and the Bake Bond have still a slight milkiness to it when they're thick like this. They're pretty transparent when they're spread out thin. But you can also see that they are quite matte finish. You can sand them and buff them to a high shine, but when they first come out, they're quite matte in finish. This is the Kato Liquid Polyclay, and you can barely see it there. It almost has a bit of a yellowish tinge. We'll pull it up from the surface and we'll see. On the glass here, the smear on the glass, now hopefully the camera's picking it up, but you can barely see it there. It's very transparent or translucent. And then here is the Fimo Liquid. It is also very translucent, and but it has more of a whitish tint to it than the Kato. And then here's a smeared out piece of it there, and it's very translucent. I don't know if we'll be able to pick up on the camera or not, but the Kato has quite a shiny kind of finish to it, and the Fimo has almost not quite orange peel, but there's a little bit of a super fine fleck to the texture, and you can kind of see it. It's a little bit pitted, so almost like there's tiny particles in there. It's so clear. It's curious as to what those little particles are. Anyways, they have each their own look to them. And if I just peel them up from here, we'll be able to see them a little bit better. Here's the TLS, and you can see it's quite translucent. And when you lift it away, it doesn't have as white, milky of a look to it. It's very, very strong. And you can do quite a bit of cool things with the liquid with the TLS. Same with the Bake Bond. You can see that coming up off of there. It is also very, very strong when it's in a thick piece like this. So you can do wings and all kinds of cool things with the liquid polyclay. Here is the Kato. And see how translucent that is? Isn't that neat? It has almost a window cling type feel to it. And you can actually make window clings with these types of liquid clays. You can make, and you can see against the white here, it is got a little bit of a yellowish tint to it. And here is the Fimo. Now when it's lifted from the surface, it is probably the clearest and the whitest. See that? But like I said, there's just like the finest finish to it. It's very strong. I didn't test the Kato. Let's test that one. They're all strong. All right, now I had baked each of these samples all for 30 minutes at 275 degrees. Each of them That's the baking range that they have. Some of them go a little bit lower, like the Fimo Liquid says 265 Fahrenheit, but it can, and pretty typical of all the liquid clays, you can actually bump the temperature up even a little higher. Kato will go to 300, 325. I've heard of people pushing it. They don't brown like the other solid clay. So you can bump the temperature up and you can get a bit of a clearer finish with them. So there is lots of cool things that you can do with them. They're all, these are probably the least expensive. I can't remember the prices. I have Canadian prices, so the prices are off for you guys, for the bulk of you guys anyways. These are the least expensive and the most available. You can get them in Michael's and just about anywhere. Kato is next in line for price, and then Fimo's the most expensive. And it's a little harder to get. I have one art store somewhere close by, Desires, I don't know how to say that. I can get it at, or I have to get it online. I have never seen it at Michael's nor Kato. You can get that online as well. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. There are lots of cool things you can do with liquid polymer clay, and I hope that you can see some uses for you in the future. And if you like this video, do let us know. And if you've got products that you would like me to test in the test lab, make some suggestions in the comment section below. And if you have questions about anything to do with polymer clay, we have done hundreds and hundreds of videos, so there may just be the one that you need. So make sure to search through our videos and see if we've done that video. And if not, you can leave suggestions for those as well in the comment section below. All right, so we'll see you next time, and bye for now.